Alright, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys some run defense, a general setup that I like to use. This is run defense that only I use. I haven't seen anybody else in the community run this, and I actually think it's really solid run defense and super simple to set up. So we're going to be in the 3-4 even formation, and what we're going to want is we're going to want our best pass rushers on the outside here. So let's go ahead and put DeMarcus Lawrence, and then let's put Robert Quinn over here. If you notice that your opponent likes to run a ton to the right, we'll put Lawrence on the right. If you notice they like to run a lot to the left, then we'll put Lawrence on the left. It's just something that it's completely optional, but if it's something that you do tend to notice out of your opponent, you can make those small adjustments, and that'll really help you. So we'll just put our other ends in the middle. They don't matter too much, you know, as long as they got some decent size and decent block shed, they should be all right. And then we'll put our two best linebackers in the middle right here, and then on the outside we'll put our two fastest corners. That way we can man people up and whatnot. And we'll put Jeff Heath right there. He's pretty good for the Cowboys, pretty quick. And the play we like to call is OLB Strike 2. As you can see, 334 calls, 6.4 average yards. The average is a little bit high, but the run game is really good. It's tough to stop the run in this game. I will just caution you guys with that. You guys have seen it. You know, it's really easy to get really lucky with the evasive, with the arm bar, with how bad the pursuit angles are of your defenders. Like you're gonna give up a lot of yards every now and then. Your opponent's gonna get lucky every now and then. So this is not perfect 100% hold your opponent to no yards rushing every game defense. That literally doesn't exist. So you gotta have a positive outlook when you are trying to stop the run, man. As long as you're getting bodies on the ball carrier, making contact at and around the line of scrimmage, you got to just be content with that, man. Continue to run the same defense, and success will come your way. When you're playing a runner, man, it really only takes 1 or 2 stops as long as your offense is smart and methodical. It can only take 1 stop to win an entire game, right? So just stick with it, man. You're gonna get that stop in the game. You're gonna make them pass, and we know what toters look like when they pass. So that's our goal. We want to get them on 3rd and 4th and long, where they have to pass the football, and then from there we can go to our dollar, our quarters defense, and just completely bag them. But with that being said, I like to come out in the OLB strike, and what I like to do is I like to baseline. I like to shade underneath. I don't like to press actually, and then I shift my line based on what I'm seeing here. So here, the wide receivers to the right, so I'm not going to shift my line at all just because the stretch is likely to come from that way. I'll man up a Woozy over here on OBJ, and then I'll sit on Heath. So let's go ahead and run the dive. As you can see right there, a Woozy, the guy that was playing strong safety for us and that was manned up on OBJ, came up and made a nice tackle on the ball carrier, and that was because he was manned up. If he was still in a deep blue, he would start backpedaling, but since he's manned up, he's able to come out and help in the run. So that's why I like to man up my safeties or user my safeties. That way they come up and help in the run. So that's a great way to stop a dive. Okay, let's go ahead and run the same look for stretch and show you guys what it looks like. Again, super simple setup. All we're doing is base aligning, shading underneath, and then manning up our safety, and then using another one. We can drag them up a little bit too. And then you kind of want to anticipate the snap, so you kind of want to be moving towards the ball as they snap. And one of the things you could do is click off, and that'll be the CPU can go up and make a really good tackle for you. That's a nice little pro tip for you guys. So let's go ahead and show you guys what that looks like if we run stretch. Hang on, the controller died again. It wouldn't be a K-Mac tip video if the controller did not die. Alright, let's go ahead and run the stretch. As you can see, we click off of Jeff Heath, and he comes up and makes a nice tackle for us. We gave up a little bit of yards, but honestly, it's not too bad at all. We played pretty good run defense there. Let's show you guys it one more time. Let's try something a little bit different this time. Let's shade underneath, and let's spread our line this time. So we're getting a little bit better of an angle, a condensed angle over on the right, with the two guys being closer to each other, so we're more likely to get a block shot off of that side. And then let's go ahead and snap the football again. Oh, we accidentally ran dive there, but we made a nice little tackle. So we'll run it one more time, do that exact same adjustment. This time I pressed. You can press, you don't have to. But for right here, I will press. Let's go ahead and audible to stretch. And then let's go ahead and run the ball. As you can see, great block sheds off the sides. We're plugging the middle cut back with the user. And that's just some really great run defense right there. So that's what I really like to do against the run. You can run this against pretty much any run formation. Let's go ahead and call timeout. I'll show you guys what it looks like against I form close, which is probably the most popular running formation in the game. I form close. Let's go ahead and do stretch and dive. And then let's come back out in the 3-4 even. And I will note that if, depending on your opponent's flip, you should flip as well. So if they're running it to the right, you keep it stock. If they run to the left, just go ahead and flip it. It's super simple. If your opponent flips mid-play, you can easily just duplicate or replicate them or mirror them, just because, like I said, this defense is really easy to set up, and it is really good stock run defense. So let's go ahead and show you guys what it looks like against stretch. Again, we'll base a line, we'll spread the line, and then let's go ahead and man up a woozy right here, and then we're going to go ahead and run stretch and show you guys what this looks like. So plugging it up with our user, there we go. We get a nice tackle right at the line, no yards to gain, and yeah, really great defense. So let's show you guys the dive real quick, and then we'll call it wraps. So let's go ahead and base the line, spread the line, shade underneath, man up a woozy, and then let's run the dive. There we go. We got a little bit of yards, but you know, we can live with that. Like I said, one of the things that can help with stopping the dive, right, is let's say you're almost certain that they're running dive, like they've ran dive 3 times in a row. One thing you could do is go to your linebacker adjustments and blitz all of them, and then we're going to go ahead and show you guys what that looks like if they do run the dive. So as you can see right there, this time it's a lot more effective against the run because we are blitzing the linebackers, and they're going ahead and crashing directly down into that A gap. I wouldn't completely recommend that, like I said, unless you know they're going to be running dive, because if you do that and then they run stretch, which I will show you guys right now. So let's go ahead and baseline, shade underneath, man up a woozy, and then let's blitz our linebackers again, and then let's run stretch and show you guys what happens. So, as you can see there, they had a pretty large hole. We were able to stop the ball carrier with a nice little block shed from our corner and the help of our user. But they had a lot more space than what we ran originally without blitzing our linebackers, just because they immediately crossed that A gap, right? So they're not going to be able to help in the stretch to the outside. So you got to be careful with that. Here, as you can see, we play a lot better stretch defense without blitzing our linebackers. So just kind of take that with a grain of salt. It's up to you and your opponent's tendencies to decide if you want to blitz those 2 linebackers to help with the dive. But that's one possibility that you could do. You can freestyle a lot with this man. Just because I show you something doesn't mean you can't do anything. Like, let's say you want to press, you can press. You don't have to press. It's a pretty versatile defense, so you can adjust your linebackers too if you like. You can drag your safeties around. Put this guy in like a quarter if you want to. Put this guy in a middle third. Like, it's completely up to you. There's a lot of different things you can do. This is by no means a blueprint that you have to follow. You can kind of do your own thing with it as well. But that's some just great run defense that I got for you guys, that I haven't seen anybody else in the community run. It's super simple, super easy to set up, and it's super effective as well. So I hope you guys liked that video, man. Thank you guys for subscribing and supporting me on Twitch, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.